to adopt the December 2020 consent docket?
So moved. This is Commissioner Preston. So moved.
Bailey, second.
There you go. Okay. Thanks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Then we're going to move on to the energy agenda. Number one, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2019 UA 202, Mississippi River Gas, LLC, joint petition of Mississippi River Gas, LLC, Renee Garza, Stanley T. Pollock, C&M Gas Holdings, LLC, and MRG Company, LLC, for approval of transfer of assets and change of control. Ms. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On November 5th, 2019, Renee Garza and Stanley Pollock and C&M Gas Holdings filed a joint petition seeking approval for sale and transfer of the controlling interest in Mississippi River Gas from Renee Garza and Stanley Pollock to C&M. Also, with the exception of MRG's lease interest in the Port Gibson gas system, which will remain with MRG, the joint petitioners seek commission approval of the transfer of MRG's assets to MRG Company, LLC, otherwise known as MRG2. MRG2 is a wholly owned subsidiary of C&M and was created to receive and hold the assets transferred by MRG in this proceeding. Once approved by the Commission and closed by the parties, the proposed transaction will result in 1. MRG being owned 100% by C&M, 2. MRG owning only the lease interest in the Port Gibson gas system, and 3. MRG2 owning all remaining MRG assets, including MRG certificates of public necessity. Until April 2019, Renee Garza and Stanley Pollock had been the sole members of MRG. At that time, Renee Garza and Stanley Pollock transferred 49% of the membership interest and financial control in MRG to C&M. Since April 1st, 2019, C&M has helped manage and operate MRG. Renee Garza and Stanley Pollock now wish to retire and sell the remaining 51% membership interest in MRG to C&M. Since the purchase agreement of April 1st, 2019, MRG and C&M have worked with staff and pipeline safety to resolve certain identified deficiencies. MRG is now up to date on pipeline safety reporting and its annual reporting requirements under the Commission rules. C&M is not seeking an acquisition adjustment for the purchase price of MRG, and MRG's rate base will not increase as a result of the transfer of membership interest. MRG will continue to provide service and charge rates pursuant to its approved general tariff. Staff has reviewed the filing and supporting documentation along with the responses to data requests. Notice of the transfer of controlling interest was issued by the Commission and no protests were filed. Staff, MRG, and C&M entered into a joint stipulation on December 1st, 2020, which provides for certain stipulations related to the sale and transfer. First, there will be no increase to MRG's rate base as a result of the transfer. Next, customer rates will not be increased to reflect any acquisition adjustment. 3, customer rates will not be increased to reflect costs of the transfer, and there will be no cost recovery of the transfer of membership interest costs in MRG in any manner. Next, during times of emergency, the commissioners for the Central and Southern Districts will be kept advised by MRG of any service outages, steps taken to restore service, the completion of service restoration, and steps to be taken to eliminate or reduce the possibility of future outages. Next, no later than March 31st annually, MRG will make an informational filing with the Commission to identify any outsourcing of functions and other statistics on customer complaints. MRG commits to working with the Commission to establish further service quality measures and guidelines. And for each year ending on September 30th, MRG will file an annual purchase gas adjustment report with the Commission no later than December 31st. The Mississippi Public Utilities staff has reviewed this and forwarded its recommendations, which are to approve the transfer of membership interest as stipulated in the joint stipulation.
Is there any follow-up questions there for anybody?
This is Brent Bailey, I just want to thank the staff and others for working on the joint stipulation to help enhance transparency, safety, affordability, and reliability throughout the transfer of this process. And with that, I do make a motion to adopt.
Okay, great, thanks. Do I have a second?
This is Commissioner Presley, I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. We'll go to number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020-UA-145, Entergy Mississippi order approving amendment to agreement for service. Ms. Dixon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On October 12, 2020, Entergy filed an application requesting approval of an amendment to the agreement for service with Nucor Steel Jackson, Inc. Nucor is a steel mini mill located in Flowood that recycles steel and manufactures steel-related products such as rebar. The proposed agreement qualifies as a special contract pursuant to Mississippi Code Annotated Section 77-335, subsection 1, and Rule 27.100 of the Commission's Public Utilities Rules of Practice and Procedure. Entergy provides electric service to Nucor under a special contract that was approved by the Commission in docket number 2003 UA-383. The agreement for electric service has been amended 3 previous times. The purpose of the 4th amendment is to extend the current terms and conditions of the agreement for an additional period of time. The Mississippi Public Utilities staff has completed its review of the filing and supporting documentation and has confirmed that the agreement and the 4th amendment meet the requirements for a special contract, including that it recovers sufficient revenues to meet introduced incremental costs of service to Nucor. It contains a competitive price to retain the customer, and the revenues received by Entergy from the agreement will provide a contribution margin above its incremental cost of service to benefit Entergy's other retail customers. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the 4th amendment to the agreement.
Okay, is there any questions, Commissioners?
Commissioner
No
Presley, I make a motion, we approve.
Bailey, second.
Okay, do I have a second? All
Bailey,
right,
second.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. On to number 3, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA-168, Spire, Mississippi Incorporated, application for approval of asset management agreement with Symmetry Energy Solutions and treatment of agreement proceeds. Ms. Dixon again.
Thank you. On October 28, 2020, Spire, Mississippi made a filing requesting Commission approval of a base contract for sales and purchases of natural gas and related transaction confirmation with Symmetry Energy Solutions, LLC, collectively referred to as the Symmetry Asset Management Agreement, and of the treatment of proceeds to be received by Spire pursuant to that agreement. Spire has been operating under an AMA with BP since May 1st, 2013. It was approved by the Commission by orders in docket number 2013 UA-54. The AMA with BP was scheduled to expire on March 31st, 2021. Spire solicited bids in July 2020 from 15 companies, including one affiliate, to provide AMA services beginning on April 1st, 2021, and received responses from 7 companies that provided a total of 11 proposals, as some companies submitted separate 3- and 5-year term proposals. The bid process is transparent and fair. After reviewing the bids, Spire selected Symmetry, a non-affiliated company, as its proposed asset manager and entered into the Symmetry AMA. Thereafter, BP notified Spire of its desire to terminate its AMA with Spire before the contractual term ending date of March 31st, 2021. As a result of this notice, Spire entered into a transaction confirmation with Symmetry for the period of November 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021. Similar terms and provisions as the AMA, with a 5-year term beginning April 1st, 2021. The Symmetry AMA has an effective date of November 1st, 2020, extending through March 31st, 2026. The Symmetry AMA generally provides that Spire will release to Symmetry certain gas transportation and storage capacity on the Gulf South Pipeline System and transportation capacity on the Tennessee Gas Pipeline System, and will purchase its gas supply from Symmetry. In return, Symmetry will provide the buyer fixed payment amounts and manage the natural gas and storage throughout the term of the agreement. Buyer submits to Symmetry AMA that the Symmetry AMA benefits its customers and is in the public interest for several reasons. First, buyer customers can continue to rely on future price stability and operational gas flow benefits derived from the storage asset. Second, buyers' customers have the assurance that their gas supplies purchased from Symmetry will be at market prices based upon an independent price index. Third, the fixed payments from Symmetry to buyer for transportation and storage capacity relief are at terms more favorable than the prior AMA, which will benefit customers through lower gas costs. Finally, Symmetry will fund storage injection, enabling buyer to avoid storage inventory carrying costs and rate base inclusion. Several safeguards are included in the Symmetry AMA to protect buyers' ability to provide public utility service to its customers. The safeguards include buyers' right to audit the records of Symmetry for purposes verifying the accuracy of any statement, charge, payment, or computation made by Symmetry under the AMA. Buyer also retains the ability to recall all of its related capacity due to an act of force majeure, Symmetry's failure to deliver any gas to buyer on an unexcused basis, or either party's suspension of performance under the Symmetry AMA. The Mississippi Public Utility staff has reviewed the filing and the Symmetry AMA, along with all bid proposals and supporting documentation. Staff agrees with buyer's choice of Symmetry as the winning bidder and recommends that the proposed AMA be approved for a 5-year period.
Okay, is there any questions?
No questions. Bailey, motion to adopt proposal.
This is Commissioner Presley. I second that motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. So we're going to move on now to the telecommunications agenda. We're going to start number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA 110 CBTS Technology Solutions LLC, order approving transfer of indirect control. Ms. Denmark, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The proposed is a transaction that will result in Cincinnati Bell becoming a direct, wholly owned subsidiary of Red Fiber parent. The transaction is structured only as a change of ownership at the holding company level and will not affect the operations or legal identity of Cincinnati Bell or CBTS. The company is authorized in Mississippi as a reseller of telecommunications services and to provide competitive local exchange services, and currently has 13 business customers in the state of Mississippi. The petition was filed with the FCC and no comments were filed and there were no interveners. The petition has been reviewed and the Mississippi Public Utility staff finds that the petition is in order. Staff recommends approval contingent upon FCC approval.
Okay, do we have any questions?
Commissioner Presley, I move we approve.
Do I have a second?
Second, Bailey.
Thank you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We'll go to number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA 062 Frontier Communications, order approving transfer of control. Again, Ms. Denmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This proposed transaction is a reorganization of Frontier Communications Corporation and its subsidiaries in conjunction with Chapter 11 of the United States Code, which is the bankruptcy code. The plan implements restructuring whereby portions of the company's notes will be converted to stock that will likely be publicly traded. The petition was filed with the FCC on June 24, 2020, under docket 20-197. And a public notice was published on July 23rd with comments due on August 24th and reply comments due on September 8th. Staff has reviewed the petition and participated in conference calls with Frontier and finds that the petition is in order. Staff recommends approval contingent upon FCC approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this one?
No questions, Mr. Chairman. This is Commissioner Presley. As you know, all these Frontier customers are located in the Northern District, and Just for the record, I don't think the staff noted this in their explanation, but Frontier has also submitted customer improvement plans, customer service quality plans to us as part of our objection to going forward with this up until now. Those have been filed and as a contingency, and so with that, I move that we approve the order.
Okay, do I have a second?
Bailey, second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We're going to move now to the water and sewer agenda. Number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2019 UA 152, City of Gulfport, order canceling certificate of public convenience and necessity. Ms. Collier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The City of Gulfport is seeking an order canceling a certificate for water service held by Lyman Utilities, Inc. for an area wholly located within the city limits of Gulfport. Gulfport has been providing water service since its annexation of the area in question a number of years ago. Lyman Utilities ceased operation upon the annexation and has been dissolved as a corporation. The Public Utility staff recommends that the Commission issue an order canceling the certificate held by Lyman with a provision that Gulfport shall continue to furnish water service to the certificated area at issue. The staff has reviewed the filing, finds it to be in order, and recommends approval of the proposed order.
Okay, any questions on this? Do I have a motion?
So moved, Presley.
Second, Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, second. Okay, got it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Going to number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA 069, Wastewater Solutions LLC, order approving sale and transfer. Ms. Collier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The joint petitioners request approval of the sale and transfer of a certificate and sewer assets held by the developers to Wastewater Solutions, Inc. Approximately 69 customers will be affected, and they have been notified of the filing. Customers currently pay a $31 a month flat rate, and Wastewater Solutions will continue to apply this rate and the tariff currently on file with the Commission. Wastewater Solutions is financially fit to provide the services and does not seek a rate adjustment. Customer deposits have been transferred from developers to Wastewater Solutions. Developers will no longer be an active sewer public utility post-approval of this transaction. The Public Utility staff has reviewed the filing and recommends approval of the proposed order.
Mr. Bailey recommends.
Okay, do we have any? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Got ahead of it. Sorry about that. Got ahead of you.
That's okay. You make a motion.
Yes, sir. It's Bailey approving adoption of order.
Second, Presley.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 3 is the discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA 128 Wilco Properties Incorporated order granting facility certificate. Ms. Collier again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wilco seeks a facility certificate to perform capital improvements to sewer systems located in DeSoto and Lowndes counties. The estimated cost of these improvements is $639,120. Approximately 2,040 customers will be affected, and these customers have been notified of the filing. In support of the filing, Wilco testified that the facilities in question are 30 to 35 years old, with 7 lift stations past their design life. Further, Wilco asserts that without these proposed improvements, it is at risk of potential fines and penalties from the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. Storm damage has resulted in fallen fences at 4 lagoons, and 4 lagoons require replacement aerators. Wilco also seeks to acquire a new tractor and 4 vehicles. All of the proposed improvements are detailed in Exhibit A of the proposed order. The Public Utility staff recommends that the Commission reserve jurisdiction to address in a rate case the amount of all prudently and reasonably incurred actual costs for construction of the improvement. There is no implied or express authority being granted here for approval of the inclusion of any capital improvement costs into Wilco's rates or rate base. The Public Utility staff recommends the approval of the proposed order.
This is Commissioner Presley. I move we approve.
Second,
Do
Bailey.
I have a second? Thank you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Going to number 4, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order and docket number 2020 UA 140 Prime Developers Incorporated, order approving sale and transfer. Ms. Collier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Southern Hills and Prime Developers filed a joint petition seeking approval of the sale and transfer of the certificate and sewer assets in Lauderdale County held by Southern Hills to Prime Developers. Prime Developers is not currently certificated to operate as a public utility. 25 customers will be affected, and these customers have been notified. Customers have been paying a monthly rate of $28 to Southern Hills. Prime Developers is financially fit to provide the sewer service and does not seek an acquisition adjustment to rate base or expenses. Customer deposits have been transferred to Prime Developers. Southern Hills will no longer be an active sewer public utility post-approval of the proposed transaction. Since monthly sewer rates have not been set, Prime Developers will need to file a notice of intent to establish initial rates. The Public Utility staff recommends approval of the sale and transfer of Southern Hills certificate and sewer assets to Prime Developers, conditioned upon Prime Developers filing a notice of intent to establish initial sewer rates within a 45-day period. The staff recommends approval of the proposed order.
Okay, any questions?
No
Yes, sir.
question. Bailey, motion to adopt order approving sale and transfer.
Second, Presley.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah. All right, ayes have it. Move on to now is the administrative agenda. Number 1, discussion and possible action regarding approval of commission minutes for November 2020 term of the commission. Anybody have any questions?
This is Commissioner Presley. I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Bailey, second.
Thank you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 2, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution for the purpose of the Mississippi Public Service Commission supporting efforts to buy American-made products with a particular focus on Mississippi-made products when construction and operating energy infrastructure projects in Mississippi. So this resolution's been circulated to everyone, and I believe everyone has had a chance to contribute and review it. Do I have any other questions on it?
No question, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to thank you and your staff for the leadership on this. I think it's a very good compliment to what we're working to achieve. And even though we probably need to retool some parts of the Higher Mississippi rule, this is a good step forward, and appreciate your personal leadership on this issue and the work that I know Mr. Ford in particular put into it. So I move we approve. Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Do I have a second?
Second. Bailey.
Okay. Any further questions? If not, then I say all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 4, discussion and possible action regarding proposed order in docket number 2020 UA 190 Tunica Wind Power LLC, order of referral. Commissioner Presley. Commissioner Presley.
We skip number 3.
Order of referral. I'm sorry?
Chairman, this is Catherine Collier. I believe we missed number 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did. My bad. Let's go back up to 3. Discussion and possible actions regarding the commission entering into discussions with the National Telecommunication and Information Administration related to the National Broadband Availability Map. Commissioner Presley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Luckily, over the last couple of weeks, in part in my time as NARUC president, we were able to work with the NTIA on the issue of broadband mapping. And as I know all of the commissioners are well aware, has been one of the key issues in not only the development Mississippi and the deployment of broadband, but also as we go about our duties related to the Universal Service Fund and our job in designated carriers to participate in that fund, is actually being able to have that correct data. I know this has been an issue throughout the United States, and fortunately NTIA has received support from Congress and continuing support from Congress regarding creating the National Broadband Map. It presents an opportunity for Mississippi to have state-specific data that we are able to either upload ourselves or have carriers upload to help clear up some of the interim problems that we know exist with mapping right now. This will allow us to have some tools at our disposal that we do not have right now. My motion today, Mr. Chairman, is not to enter into an agreement, but there are plenty of details that need to be worked out in further briefing for the commissioners, but that we move forward with negotiating with NTIA to bring forward a final agreement as to what that could look like for broadband mapping. My understanding is that this is a process by which NTIA would designate with the commission these the type of data that would be brought into the map. Also, it would enable us to be able to access that data as we go about different programs. Again, my motion today does not execute any agreement. It doesn't finalize any agreement. It simply gets the ball rolling so that we can begin having those conversations. NTIA has been very welcoming to have state participation, and there are other states, as I understand it, public service commissions throughout the country that are working with them now. This simply is a motion that we begin those conversations, and then obviously we would have a final document to put before the commission at the appropriate time.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we do that. Do I have a second?
Hey, Commissioner, quick question. Bailey here.
Sure. Yeah.
Commissioner Presley, does the NTIA mapping process, does it have a regulatory function similar to what the FCC does, or does it provide us another means of having better, more up-to-date data on the reach of broadband in our states?
Well, NTIA itself does not have a regulatory function per se as far as designating where funds would be delivered, where okay, areas would be eligible for funds. This map would simply be a tool for us to participate in. There's appropriate legal safeguards for confidentiality and those sort of things, where if the commission, for instance, wanted to have carriers that participated in the CARES Act dollars that the legislature appropriated, submit that data to NTIA so we could make sure that in fact gets mapped. It's more of a clearinghouse for that type of information, Commissioner Bailey, not a regulatory function, but we would be able to participate and gather insight as to where actual service availability stands today. And really it helps us to have a tool at our disposal that right now, of course, we do not have in the state on a state-specific level. So it would be a tool more than a regulatory function, and would be more of a place to input data and have that data publicly available for policymakers, for the commission, for the staff, and for others. So it is not a regulatory function, and it is not a map that would be consequential to any federal funding. Of course, the FCC has their own set of data related to that.
Right, correct. I appreciate it. Helpful explanation with that. Second motion.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. On to number 4, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2020 UA190, Tunica Wind Power LLC, order of referral. I make a motion that we refer that to Commissioner Presley. Do I have a second?
Presley, second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Then with number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2019 NC 143, Mississippi Public Service Commission versus Asia Pacific Network Incorporated, order of an entry of civil penalty. Ms. Bennett.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is an ongoing case. This company has continued to not answer our subpoenas, thus stalling our further investigation of MTSA violations. And as of today, they have failed to answer subpoenas for over a year, but the fine started tolling August 29th, so 91 days. They have failed to answer these subpoenas, so this is an order for the entry of civil penalty, which will hopefully prompt them to answer our inquiries.
Mr. Presley, motion to approve.
Do I have a
Bailey,
second? All in favor
Bailey,
signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. All right. Any noes? Ayes have it. We'll move on to the next, number 6, discussion and possible action regarding order proposed rule changes to practice Rule 28. Ms. Bennett?
Yes, Commissioners. So this is essentially the same rule that we have previously passed. This is just to bring it into compliance with the Administrative Procedures Act.
Okay, do we have any questions? Do we have a
Move we
motion?
approve. Presley, move we approve.
Second, Bailey.
Mr. Bailey? Thank you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, hang on just a second. Okay, this is last one is one I want to bring up and have a discussion about possible action regarding Commission resolution recognizing Commissioner Brandon Presley on the occasion of completing his term as president of the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners, NARUC. I'd like to say, Brandon, thank you, brother, so much for your service there and your role at NARUC. Man, you've done a fantastic job and represented our state extremely well. And I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution. And again, I just can't tell you how much it means to the commission and us and and I'm sure I'm speaking for Commissioner Bailey, the benefit that Mississippi has gained from your experience and knowledge that we get.
I just want. Let me say this. Thank you to yourself and Commissioner Bailey. I appreciate both of y'all having my back during the year in which I was NARUC president, and for the work that y'all have done to work with us collectively on the NARUC front. And it means a lot. And I just want both you gentlemen to know I truly appreciate this. It's unexpected. I appreciate it.
Well, you did a good job, Commissioner Bailey.
Yes, sir. I greatly appreciated the job well done. Everything you said, second it, to elevate the perspective and visibility of the state of Mississippi over the last year. I know it was an extremely challenging year, given the COVID situation and restrictions on travel, the inability to really, you were a face on many electronic platforms, but I know you didn't achieve the level of personal interaction that you desired. And I know that comes away with not a regret for the year of service you've made, but certainly the inability to really be that physical face around the nation and even in other countries as a NARUC representative, as a NARUC president representing the state of Mississippi. With that, I second the motion and appreciate your year of service at NARUC.
Thank y'all, guys. I appreciate it very much.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the motion passed. Okay, thank you again, Commissioner Presley. That concludes our docket items for the day. I want to take a couple of minutes and then we'll move straight into today's hearing if all parties are on the call and ready to go.
Chairman, this is Catherine Collier. If we could just take a couple minutes and let anyone who is not going to participate in the hearing who wants to drop off the call, drop off. If everyone else will just mute their phones for a minute while we sort of telephonically get organized.
Yes. Just want to take
Okay.
a couple of minutes and we'll get back on it.
Okay. Is the court reporter on the line? If you are, please press *6 to unmute your line.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson, are you and your witness ready?
Uh-oh.
Ms. Collier, this is Stephen Jackson. We are ready to go.
Okay. Commissioners, are you all ready?
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, with that, I would say we could begin if the commission is ready.
Okay. Did we hear from, was that Commissioner Bailey you're good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. With that, I'd like to call up docket number 2020 UA 111, petition of Cooperative Energy for certificate of public convenience and necessity, authorizing it to acquire, construct, own, operate electrical transmission lines and substations in Lamar County in the Oak Grove area. It's 161/69 kV line there at the substation. At this time, I'd like to have each representative from the company and their counsel make their appearance for the record, please.
This is Stephen Jackson. I'm an attorney for Cooperative Energy.
And this is John Gilbertson. I'm the Director of Substation Engineering at Cooperative Energy.
Okay, is that all we have?
This is
Yes,
Catherine
sir.
Collier on behalf of the commission.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do we have any witnesses present?
Yes, sir, Commissioner. John Gilbertson, he just identified himself as the Director of Substation Engineering. He'll be the only witness today.
Okay, let's get them all sweared in, or let's get him sweared in.
If the court
I'm
reporter
assuming the court
would
reporter.
swear him in.
You want me? Okay. Yes. Okay. I'll do it. I didn't know for
Yep.
sure.
Sure,
All right.
sure, go ahead.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we bring the company's witness forward, please?
Yes, Chairman Maxwell. He's ready to go. We're all set.
Okay. Well, then start getting after it. Ask your question.
All right. Like I said, my name is Stephen Jackson. I'm the attorney for Cooperative Energy. And as I stated earlier, my witness here is John Gilbertson. He's the Director of Substation Engineering. So for the record, Mr. Gilbertson, would you please state your name?
John Gilbertson.
And what is your position with Cooperative Energy?
My position is Director of Substation Engineering.
All right. Now, we're here on behalf of a petition for a certificate of public convenience and necessity involving transmission facilities in Lamar County. And that petition was filed in this matter on August 27th, 2020. Now, attached to this petition as Exhibit A was your pre-filed direct testimony. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, was this testimony prepared under your supervision and control?
Yes, it was.
Have you had the opportunity to review that testimony prior to this hearing today?
I have.
Do you have any additions or corrections to your testimony at this time?
No, I don't.
Is your testimony true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
If I were to ask you the same questions contained in your pre-filed testimony, would your answers be the same today?
Yes, they'd be the same.
And do you adopt your pre-filed direct testimony as your testimony today?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to introduce and enter Mr. Gilbertson's direct pre-filed testimony as an exhibit to this hearing.
Okay.
And with that, I have no further questions of this witness, and I tender the witness.
Okay. Does the commission's counsel or commissioners have any questions for this witness?
I have no questions, Commissioner.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
No questions.
Okay. So with that, and that being the only witness after this hearing and review of the pre-filed testimony, do we have an motion to adopt this certificate?
So moved.
Second, Bailey.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. It's adopted. We appreciate you guys for being here today and presenting this. And with that, I'm going to stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank y'all.